Admiral Park Min-jun stood alone in the center of the massive chamber. Around him, thousands of alien beings filled the seats that rose up like a giant bowl. Their eyes, tentacles, and other sensing organs all focused on him. Some had scales that glowed with anger. Others had fur that stood up straight with fear. A few had skin that changed colors rapidly, showing their excitement. The Galactic Council had called this emergency meeting. Every major species in the galaxy had sent their representatives. The Veltar, with their sharp teeth and clawed hands. The peaceful Zornathi, with their gentle blue skin. The machine-like Kethmori, who spoke through electronic voices. Even the mysterious Ethrani had come out of their hidden worlds for this. All of them were here because of humanity. Counselor Zethkri, of the Veltar species, stood up. His red scales flashed bright with rage. Humans have existed in space for only 50 years, he said, his voice echoing through the chamber. In that short time, they have built more warships than most species build in 1,000 years. They grow too fast. They learn too quickly. They are dangerous. Many aliens in the crowd made sounds of agreement. Some hissed. Others clicked or buzzed. The noise grew louder and angrier. Look at their history, Zethkri continued. They fight each other constantly. They destroy their own planet for resources. They make weapons that can kill millions at once. What will they do when they spread across the galaxy? What will happen to the rest of us? Admiral Park listened calmly. He was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes. He wore the simple blue uniform of Earth's Space Navy. On his chest was a small badge, showing Earth and its moon. Nothing about him looked dangerous or threatening. Ambassador Lee So-young sat in the small section reserved for humans. She was the only other human in the chamber. Her job was to speak for Earth in peaceful matters. But today was not about peace. Zethkri raised his clawed hand high. The Galactic Council has made a decision. Humanity will surrender all military vessels within 72 hours. You will accept protective custody status under our guidance. Your species will be watched and controlled to prevent future threats to galactic peace. The chamber erupted in noise. Most aliens cheered and roared their approval. A few stayed silent, looking uncomfortable with the decision. If humans refuse this generous offer, Zethkri continued, we will consider your species a danger to all life in the galaxy. Our combined fleets will remove the human threat permanently. Admiral Park raised his hand slowly. The chamber fell quiet, waiting to hear what the lone human would say. May I ask a question? Park said in his calm, steady voice. Speak quickly, Zethkri replied. Your time is running out. You say we are dangerous because we fight each other. But looking around this chamber, I see representatives from species who have been at war for thousands of years. The Veltar and the Kethmori fought just last decade. The Zornathi and the Ethrani still have border disputes. How are we different? Some aliens shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Others growled with annoyance. We have learned control, Zethkri snapped. We have wisdom that comes with age. You humans are children playing with fire. I see, Park said. And what makes you think we cannot learn as you have learned? Because you learn too fast, another counselor shouted. In 50 years, you have gone from primitive chemical rockets to ships that can cross star systems. Your technology grows at a rate that threatens the balance of power we have maintained for millennia. Park nodded thoughtfully. I understand your concern. Change can be frightening. Many aliens made angry sounds at this. How dare this human suggest they were frightened? We are not afraid. Zethkri snarled. We are being careful. We are protecting the galaxy from a species that could destroy everything we have built. And if we refuse your offer, Park asked, then you will face the combined might of every civilized species in the galaxy. Your small fleet of a few hundred ships will be destroyed. Your colonies will be occupied. Your homeworld will be placed under direct control. Ambassador Lee looked pale and worried. She knew Earth's fleet was small compared to the vast armadas that surrounded human space. The aliens could easily carry out their threat, but Admiral Park remained calm. I see. And how many innocent humans will die in this protective action? That will depend on how quickly you surrender. Zethkri replied coldly. Including the children? The chamber fell silent. Even the angriest aliens seemed uncomfortable with that question. War always has casualties, Zethkri said, but his voice was quieter now. Park nodded slowly. Yes, it does. Thank you for making your position clear. Humanity will need time to consider your offer. You have 72 hours, Zethkri said. Not 1 minute longer. Understood. Park replied. He turned to leave, then stopped. May I ask one more question? What now? Do any of you have children? The question seemed strange. Many aliens looked puzzled. Some nodded, or made gestures that meant, yes. I ask because I have grandchildren back on Earth. Little ones who like to play with toy spaceships and dream of exploring the stars. They believe the galaxy is full of wonderful friends they have not met yet. I hope they get the chance to meet you all someday. With that, Admiral Park walked toward the exit. Ambassador Lee quickly followed him. The chamber stayed quiet as they left. Once outside, Lee grabbed Park's arm. Admiral, what are we going to do? Our entire fleet could not fight even one of their major species, let alone all of them together. Park smiled gently and pulled out a small communication device. It looked like an ordinary phone, but Lee knew it was connected to the most secure networks in human space. Park typed a short message and sent it. The message was simple. The children need their guardian. What was that? Lee asked. Hope, Park replied. Come, Ambassador. We should return to our ship. The next 72 hours will be very interesting. As they walked through the alien corridors toward their small transport, neither of them noticed the few aliens who had followed them. These aliens had not cheered with the others. They had children too, and they remembered what it was like to love something more than politics or power. They wondered what Admiral Park's message meant. More importantly, they wondered if they had just voted to destroy the one species that might understand what it truly meant, to protect the innocent. 5 years earlier, deep in the rings of Saturn, something impossible was being built. Engineer Choi Hee-jin floated in zero gravity as she checked the massive construction project around her. The Titan shipyard was hidden among Saturn's ice and rock, invisible to anyone who might be watching from the inner planets. Even Earth's government did not know exactly what was being created here. The hull plating for Section 47 is complete, reported her assistant over the radio. Moving to Section 48. Hai-jin smiled as she watched the work crews. Humans and their robot helpers moved like ants across the enormous structure. But this was no ordinary ship they were building. This was something that had never existed before in the galaxy. Captain Kim, please report to the main observation deck, she called into her communicator. Captain Kim Tae-ho arrived a few minutes later. He was a younger man, with serious eyes and steady hands. He had been chosen to command this ship, though he still did not fully understand what that meant. You wanted to see me, Engineer Choi? He asked. Yes. Come and look at what we have built. They floated together to the main window. Outside, the Titan stretched as far as they could see. It was not just big. It was impossibly huge. The ship was over 200 kilometers long and 50 kilometers wide. Its hull was a dark gray metal that seemed to absorb light. I still do not understand, Kim said quietly. Why build something so large? We could make 100 normal warships with the same materials. Haejin turned to face him. Tell me, Captain, what do you think is humanity's greatest strength? Kim thought carefully. Our technology? Our ability to learn quickly? No, Heejin said. Those are tools. What makes us human? I am not sure I understand. Let me show you something, Heejin said. She led him to a smaller room filled with computers and screens. Computer, show us the reports from the frontier colonies. The screens lit up with images and videos from human settlements across space. They saw families building homes on new worlds, children playing in alien gardens, scientists studying strange new plants and animals, doctors treating both human and alien patients in border clinics. This is what makes us different, Heijin explained. Every other species in the galaxy conquers or controls. They take resources and expand their territory. But look at these images. What do you see? Kim studied the screens carefully. I see people helping others. Humans sharing their food with alien refugees. Human children playing with alien children. Exactly. We do not just expand. We protect. We include. We care for others as if they were our own family. She pressed another button. The screens now showed news reports from across the galaxy. Wars between alien species, refugees fleeing their homes, pirates attacking helpless trading ships, planets being stripped of resources by powerful corporations. The galaxy is not a safe place, Captain. The strong prey on the weak. The rich ignore the poor. Military might makes right. But humanity, we have always been different. Even when we fight each other, we cannot stand to see innocent people suffer. Kim was beginning to understand. The Titan is not a warship. No, Heejin said. It is a guardian ship, the largest shield ever built. She led him to another room where Dr. Yang Ji-woo was working. Yang was a brilliant physicist who had spent years developing new technologies for the project. Dr. Yang, please explain to Captain Kim what the Titan can do. Yang looked up from her work. She was a small woman with bright eyes and hands that moved quickly when she was excited. Oh, Captain Kim! Perfect timing. I just finished the final calculations for the quantum displacement drive. Quantum displacement? Kim asked. Yes. You see, most ships travel from place to place. They move through space. But the Titan can exist in multiple places at once. We can appear anywhere in the galaxy instantly. Kim stared at her. That is impossible. Not impossible, Yang said with a grin. Just very, very difficult. And very, very expensive. But imagine this, Captain. A ship that can appear anywhere innocent people need protection. A ship so large it can shield entire planets. A ship with defensive systems so advanced that nothing can break through them. But no offensive weapons? Kim asked. Oh, we could add weapons, Heejin said. Enough firepower to destroy star systems. But that is not who we are. The Titan carries something much more powerful than weapons. What? Hope, Yang said simply. When people see the Titan, they will know that someone cares about them. That someone will stand between them and harm, no matter what it costs. Kim walked to another window and looked out at the massive ship. You want me to command this? Not command it, Heejin corrected. Carry it. The Titan is not just a ship, Captain. It is humanity's promise to the galaxy. A promise that no innocent being will suffer while we have the power to help. But the responsibility is exactly why we chose you, Yang said. We needed someone who understands that true strength comes from protecting others, not defeating them. Kim was quiet for a long time. Finally, he spoke. How many people can the Titan carry? 50,000 crew members, Heejin replied. But also, 2 million refugees if needed. Medical facilities for any species we know about. Food production systems that can feed entire colonies. Manufacturing capabilities to rebuild damaged worlds. And if someone attacks us, the defensive shields can protect anything behind us, Yang explained. Entire fleets could fire at the Titan, and we would not even feel it. But Captain, remember what Engineer Choi said. We are not there to fight. We are there to stand guard. Kim nodded slowly. When will the Titan be ready? Soon, Heejin said. But first, you need to choose your crew. 50,000 people who share humanity's vision. People who will look at a universe full of strangers and see family. And if the galaxy does not want our protection? Heejin smiled sadly. Then we will protect them anyway. That is what Guardians do. 6 months later, the Titan was complete. Captain Kim stood on the bridge with his crew around him. They came from every nation on Earth and every human colony. They spoke different languages and had different customs, but they all shared the same dream. Dr. Yang approached him with a small device. The quantum displacement drive is online, Captain. We can go anywhere. Quote, and our orders? To wait, Heejin said over the communicator. Captain Kim looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, alien children were playing. Families were trying to build better lives. Innocent people were suffering while powerful beings ignored their pain. We will be ready, he promised. The 72-hour countdown had begun, and across the galaxy, massive war fleets were moving. Fleet Commander Zarthek of the Veltar Navy stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching hundreds of ships gather around him. Each vessel was a kilometer long and packed with enough firepower to destroy moons. But his fleet was just one of many. Status report. He ordered. Sir, we have 400 ships in formation, his officer replied. The Keth Mori fleet reports 300 vessels ready. The Zornathi have sent 200 of their most advanced ships. In total, over 2,000 warships are moving toward human space. Zarthek smiled, showing his sharp teeth. And the humans? Our scouts report approximately 300 human ships scattered across their territory. Most are small patrol vessels or colony transports. Nothing that could threaten even one of our battle cruisers. Perfect, Zarthek said. This will be over quickly. Perhaps the humans will be smart enough to surrender before we arrive. But not everyone in the galaxy was eager for war. On the peaceful world of Velnara, Counselor Velani sat in her garden with her young daughter. The little girl was playing with toys, while her mother watched the news reports with growing sadness. Mama, why do you look sad? The child asked. Velani hugged her daughter close. Because some people are about to get hurt, little one. Can we help them? I wish we could. But the decision has been made by those stronger than us. The child thought about this for a moment. Are the humans bad people? Velani remembered the few humans she had met. They had been kind and curious, always asking about her family and sharing pictures of their own children. No, little one. I do not think they are bad. But sometimes good people get hurt because others are afraid. Meanwhile, hidden in the fold between normal space and quantum space, Captain Kim Tae-ho received reports from across the galaxy. The Titan floated in its invisible pocket of reality, waiting and watching. Captain, called Lieutenant Park Jin-woo from the communications station. We are receiving data from our monitoring posts. The alien fleets are bigger than we expected. How big? Kim asked. Over 2,000 ships, sir. They will reach human space in 18 hours. Kim nodded calmly. Around him, his crew worked quietly at their stations. They had trained for this moment. But now that it was here, the weight of responsibility felt enormous. Any word from Earth? Kim asked. Admiral Park Min-jun sends his regards, Jin-woo replied. He says the children are counting on us. Kim smiled at that. Among the 50,000 crew members aboard the Titan, many had children back home. Others had left behind parents, siblings, or friends. They all knew what they were fighting to protect. Sir, called Commander Lee Yunseo from the tactical station. We are also receiving reports from the frontier worlds. The alien fleets are not just targeting Earth. They are moving toward all human colonies. Kim studied the displays showing the galaxy. Red dots marked the alien fleets. Small blue dots showed human settlements. The aliens outnumbered them massively. But that was not what worried Kim. Commander Lee. What about civilian populations in the projected battle zones? Lee checked her screens. Sir, there are approximately 50 million human civilians in the path of the alien fleets. But also, roughly 20 million alien civilians. Alien civilians? Yes, sir. Many human colonies have become trading centers. Alien refugees, merchants, and families have settled there over the years. If fighting breaks out, they will be caught in the crossfire. Kim was quiet for a long time. This was the decision that would define everything. The Titan could appear anywhere in the galaxy instantly. It could protect human worlds with its massive shields. But that would mean abandoning innocent aliens to whatever chaos followed. Or the Titan could try to protect everyone. Sir? Commander Lee asked quietly. What are your orders? Kim thought about the conversations he had during construction. Engineer Choi Hae-jin had been very clear about the Titan's purpose. Dr. Yang Ji-woo had spent years building technology that could shield anyone who needed protection. But most importantly, he thought about what it meant to be human. Commander Lee, I want a full tactical analysis, not just of human colonies, but of every civilian population center in the galaxy. I want to know where innocent people might be in danger. Sir, that would include thousands of worlds. Then, we better get started. Lieutenant Park spoke up from communications. Captain, we are receiving a message from one of the human colonies. New Sol, on Kepler 442b. They report alien refugees are requesting permission to stay until the crisis passes. Granted, Kim said immediately. And send a message to all human colonies. Any alien civilians seeking shelter should be protected. Sir, Commander Lee said carefully, if we protect alien civilians, their own military fleets might see it as a hostile act. Let me worry about that, Commander. Hours passed as the crew worked to map every civilian population in the war zone. Kim walked among his people, watching them plan not for victory in battle, but for the protection of innocence. Captain, Dr. Yang Ji-woo called from the science station. The quantum displacement calculations are complete. We can position the Titan to protect approximately 60% of all civilian populations simultaneously. Only 60%? Sir, if we focus only on human colonies, we could protect 95% of them. But if we include alien civilians, we include everyone, Kim said firmly. Find a way to protect them all. Sir, the physics are challenging, but perhaps if we use multiple quantum displacements in rapid sequence. Do it. As the deadline approached, Captain Kim stood before his crew in the main assembly hall. 50,000 human faces looked back at him. They came from every culture on Earth and every colony in human space. In a few hours, we will reveal ourselves to the galaxy, he said, not as conquerors or warriors, but as guardians. Some of you may wonder why we are protecting alien civilians alongside our own people. The answer is simple. He paused, thinking of his own children back on Earth. A child is a child, no matter what species. A family is a family, whether they have scales, fur, or skin like ours. If we claim to be protectors, then we protect everyone who needs protection. The crew was silent, but Kim could see understanding in their eyes. The alien fleets will be here soon. They expect to find a small human force they can easily defeat. Instead, they will find something the galaxy has never seen before. They will find humanity's true strength. And what is that, sir? Asked a young ensign. Kim smiled. Our refusal to let innocent people suffer while we have the power to help them. He turned to Dr. Yang. Begin the quantum displacement sequence. Yes, sir. Displacement in 3, 2, 1. The Titan began to phase back into normal space, but not where anyone expected. Guardian Protocol activated, Kim announced to his crew and to the galaxy beyond. The silence that followed would be remembered for 1,000 years. The first to see it was a young Zornathi traffic controller working the night shift at Nexus Prime Station. She was drinking her evening tea and watching the normal flow of ships around the galactic capital when space itself seemed to shimmer. Then the Titan materialized. The controller dropped her teacup. It shattered on the floor as she stared at the impossible sight outside her window. The ship was not just large. It was beyond comprehension. It stretched across the sky like a metal moon, its dark hull blocking out the stars. "Alert! Alert!" she cried into her communicator. "Unknown massive vessel has appeared above Nexus Prime." Across the station, alarms began to sound. But on the Titan's bridge, Captain Kim Tae-ho stood calmly watching his displays. "Status report," he said quietly. "Quantum displacement successful, sir," reported Dr. Yang. "We are positioned between the main alien fleet and Nexus Prime civilian sectors. Our defensive shields are extended around all residential areas. Civilian populations? Protected, sir. Approximately 40 million beings are now under our shield umbrella." Kim nodded. "And the other displacements?" Lieutenant Park looked up from communications. "Sir, Quantum Echoes report successful positioning at all major civilian centers. The alien fleets cannot attack any population centers without going through us first." What Lieutenant Park did not say was that this was impossible. The Titan was somehow existing in multiple places at once, its massive form appearing simultaneously above dozens of worlds throughout the galaxy. On the bridge of Fleet Commander Zarthek's flagship, chaos had erupted. "How big is that thing?" Zarthek demanded. "Sir, initial scans show a length of over 200 kilometers. Width of 50 kilometers. Mass." "Sir, the mass readings do not make sense." "What do you mean?" "It appears to be larger than some moons, but our sensors also show it at Kepler 4.4.2b and Rigel Station, and—" The officer paused, checking his readings again. "Sir, it appears to be protecting every major civilian center in the galaxy simultaneously. One face." Zarthek stared at the view screen, showing the massive human ship. It hung silently between his fleet and Nexus Prime, making no threatening moves. Its hull was a dark gray that seemed to absorb light, and along its sides were markings in various languages. He could see symbols from dozens of different species. "Are they targeting us?" he asked. "No, sir. They appear to be. Shielding the civilians behind them." "Impossible. Open a channel." On the Titan's bridge, Kim received the incoming communication. "Unknown human vessel." Zarthek's voice echoed through the bridge. "You are interfering with legal Galactic Council enforcement action. Move aside immediately, or be destroyed." Kim gestured to Lieutenant Park, who opened a response channel. "This is Captain Kim Tae-ho of the Titan," Kim said in a calm, clear voice that broadcast not just to the alien fleet, but to every communication network in the galaxy. "We are here to protect all innocent life. This includes your families." The simple statement sent shockwaves through every alien fleet. On Nexus Prime, Counselor Velani was watching the news with her daughter when the broadcast came through. The little girl pointed at the screen. "Mama, look at the big ship. Is it here to help us?" Velani stared at the massive human vessel, hovering protectively over their city. Fleet Commander Zarthek was less impressed. "Captain Kim, you are vastly outnumbered. Our combined fleets have over 2,000 ships. Surrender now, and you will be treated according to galactic law." "Commander," Kim replied, "may I ask you a question? Make it quick. Do you have children?" The question caught Zarthek off guard. "What does that have to do with anything?" "Because right now, my ship is protecting them." Zarthek looked at his tactical display. The human ship was indeed positioned between his fleet and the civilian areas where his own family lived. "You are bluffing," he said. "No single ship, no matter how large, could protect every civilian target in the galaxy." "Commander Lee," Kim said to his tactical officer, "please show Commander Zarthek our current positions." On screens across the galaxy, the data appeared. The Titan was somehow present at every major population center, its massive bulk standing guard over billions of innocent beings. Human and alien children alike were now under the protection of Earth's greatest ship. In the Galactic Council chambers, the emergency session had devolved into confusion and argument. Councillor Zeth Kree was pacing angrily, while other representatives stared at the displays showing the impossible human ship. "How are they doing this?" demanded a Kethmori councillor. "It does not matter how," replied a Ethrani representative. "The question is, what we do about it." "We destroy it," Zeth Kree snarled. "And kill our own civilians in the process?" asked Vellani, who had rushed to the council chambers. "That ship is protecting my daughter. It is protecting all of our families." Ambassador Lee So-young sat quietly in the human section, watching the debate. She had not expected this. No one had told her about the Titan project. "The ship has made no aggressive moves," pointed out a Zornathi counselor. "It has not fired a single shot." "Because it is a trap," Zethkri insisted. "They are using our own civilians as shields." "Or," said Vellani quietly, "they are doing exactly what Captain Kim said. They are protecting innocent life." On the Titan's bridge, reports were coming in from across the galaxy, not just from the alien fleets, but from the civilians under protection. "Sir," Lieutenant Park reported, "we are receiving thousands of messages from civilian populations. Many are thanking us." "Thanking us?" "Yes, sir. Apparently many alien families remember humans from trade missions and colony interactions. They are requesting permission to send gifts for our children back home." Kim smiled at that. "Tell them their safety is gift enough." Commander Lee looked up from her tactical station. "Sir, the alien fleets are holding position. None of them are willing to attack, while we are protecting their own people." "And our quantum displacement status?" "Stable, sir. Dr. Yang's calculations were perfect. We can maintain this configuration indefinitely." Kim walked to the main view screen, which showed the view from above Nexus Prime. Alien ships filled space around them, weapons powered and ready. But none were firing. "Open a channel to all fleets and all civilian populations," he ordered. When the channel opened, Kim's voice carried to every corner of the galaxy. "I am Captain Kim Tae-ho, of the human ship Titan. We know that our species has caused concern among the galactic community. We know that you fear our rapid advancement and our history of conflict. Your concerns are not unreasonable." He paused, looking at his crew. They were all listening intently. "But I want you to understand something about humanity. We do not seek to conquer or control others. We seek to protect them. For the past month, we have been watching the galaxy prepare for war. We have seen military fleets mobilize and weapons charge, but we have also seen something else." Another pause. "We have seen alien mothers holding their children close, hoping the fighting will not reach them. We have seen families preparing to flee their homes. We have seen the innocent and helpless looking to the sky with fear." On Nexus Prime, Vellani held her daughter tighter. "That is why we are here," Kim continued. "Not to fight you, but to stand between you and the consequences of this conflict. Every being under our protection will remain safe, regardless of what their governments decide to do." The galaxy fell silent as the meaning became clear. The humans were not threatening anyone. They were promising to protect everyone, even their enemies. 1 month after the Titan's appearance, the Galactic Council chambers looked very different. The seats were still filled with representatives from across the galaxy, but the atmosphere had changed completely. Captain Kim Tae-ho stood in the center of the chamber. But he was not alone. Around him, stood children from dozens of different species. Little ones with scales, fur, tentacles, and skin of every color. They had come to thank the humans who had protected them. A small Zornathi girl named Vela approached Kim and offered him a drawing. It showed the Titan hovering over her home city, with stick figures of her family waving from below. "Thank you for keeping us safe," she said in her musical voice. Kim knelt down to her level. "Thank you for this beautiful picture. I will treasure it." Counselor Vel-Ani watched from her seat with tears in her eyes. Her own daughter was among the children in the center. The little one had insisted on coming to meet the human captain who had protected their world. "1 month ago," Kim said, addressing the council, "you asked humanity to surrender our weapons and accept your guidance. You believed we were dangerous. I want to tell you what has happened since then." The chamber was completely silent. Even former enemies like Zethkri listened carefully. "In this month, the Titan has prevented 3 asteroid impacts that would have destroyed civilian colonies. We stopped 2 wars between mining corporations before they could escalate. We provided medical aid during the plague outbreak on Kepler 186f, and we evacuated 40,000 beings from Rigel 7 before the solar flare hit." Admiral Park Min-jun, who had arrived from Earth the day before, smiled proudly. His message about the children needing their guardian had led to this moment. "Most importantly," Kim continued, "we have learned. Every species we have helped has taught us something new. The Zornathi showed us better ways to grow food in space. The Kethmori shared advanced medical techniques. The Veltar taught us about honor in difficult situations." Zethkri shifted uncomfortably. He had been one of those who taught the humans, though he had not expected it to happen. Lieutenant Park Jinwoo stepped forward with a data pad. "Captain, the final reports are ready." Kim looked at the pad, then back at the council. "In the past month, we have received over 1 million messages from beings across the galaxy. 98% are expressions of gratitude. The remaining 2% are requests for assistance with various problems." He handed the pad to Ambassador Lee So-young, who had become the official liaison between humanity and the galactic community. "We have also received 237 formal requests from various species asking humanity to establish permanent protection stations in their systems," Lee announced. The council murmured with surprise. Many species were actually asking for human protection. A young Ethrani male stood up in the chamber. "Captain Kim, my world was one of those that requested human protection. May I ask why you agreed to help us? We voted in favor of the ultimatum against your species." Kim looked at the young alien thoughtfully. "What is your name?" "Zarkil." "Zarkil, do you have family?" "Yes, a mate and 2 younglings." "And if they were in danger, would it matter to you who saved them?" Zarkil considered this. "No. Anyone who protected my family would have my eternal gratitude." "That is your answer," Kim said simply. "We protect families because they are families, not because of politics or old votes." Dr. Yang Ji-woo stepped forward from the human delegation. "If I may address the council?" "Please do," said the council chairman. "Many of you have asked how the Titan works, how one ship can protect so many places at once. The technology is complex, but the principle is simple. We exist wherever we are needed." She gestured to a holographic display that appeared above the chamber. "The Titan uses quantum displacement to maintain a protective presence at any location where innocent lives are threatened. We can be at 1,000 places simultaneously, but always with the same purpose." "And what purpose is that?" asked a Kethmori counselor. Captain Kim answered, "To stand guard, to be the shield between the strong and the weak, to ensure that children can sleep safely, regardless of what species they belong to." A small commotion started in one section of the chamber. Commander Zarthek, the fleet commander who had led the forces against humanity, was standing up. The chamber tensed, expecting anger or challenge. But when Zarthek spoke, his voice was quiet and respectful. "Captain Kim, 1 month ago, I came here to destroy your species. I believed you were a threat to everything we had built." He paused, looking around the chamber. I was wrong. The silence was complete. Yesterday, my homeworld was hit by solar storms that knocked out our planetary defense grid. Pirates saw the opportunity and moved in to attack our shipping lanes. Within 1 hour, the Titan appeared above our world. Within 2 hours, the pirates had fled, and our people were safe. Zarthek looked directly at Kim. "You protected the families of the being who came to kill you. That is not the action of a threat, that is the action of a guardian." More beings began to stand throughout the chamber. Representatives who had voted for the ultimatum were now looking at humanity with new understanding. Councillor Velani stood with her daughter beside her. "I move that the Galactic Council formally recognize humanity as the protected species guardians. Let it be known throughout the galaxy that humans are not conquerors, but protectors." The vote was unanimous. But Kim raised his hand before the celebration could begin. "Thank you for this honor," he said. "But we want to be very clear about what this means. We are not your rulers. We are not your superiors. We are your neighbors. And neighbors watch out for each other." He gestured to his crew, many of whom had joined him for this historic moment. "The Titan will continue to stand guard wherever innocents need protection. But we hope that someday, every species will have the strength to protect not just their own people, but all people who need help." Engineer Choi Hai-jin, who had traveled from Saturn to witness this moment, wiped tears from her eyes. The dream she had built in the ice rings had become reality. Little Vela, the Zornathi girl who had given Kim the drawing, tugged on his uniform. "Captain Kim, will you always protect us?" Kim knelt down and smiled at her. "As long as there are children who need protecting, the Titan will be watching over them. Even the children of people who were mean to you?" "Especially them," Kim said gently. "Because children are not responsible for what adults do. Children just need to be safe and loved." Vela hugged him, and soon other alien children were joining in. The sight of the human captain, surrounded by young beings from across the galaxy, became one of the most famous images in galactic history. Ambassador Lee stepped forward to address the Council one final time. "Humanity accepts the role of guardian species, but we want to share this responsibility. We invite any species that wishes to join us in protecting the innocent. The galaxy is vast, and there are many who need help." As the session ended and beings began to leave, many stopped to thank the human delegation. Former enemies became allies. Children who had been afraid now felt safe. Outside the council chambers, Captain Kim looked up at the stars through the station's transparent ceiling. Somewhere out there, the Titan maintained its silent vigil over countless worlds. "Sir," Lieutenant Park said quietly. Kim smiled, thinking of all the alien children who had hugged him that day. "Peace is not something that just happens, Lieutenant. Peace is something you guard every day. And now the galaxy knows that someone is always watching. Someone who cares more about protecting children than winning battles. And if new threats appear, then we will do what guardians do," Kim replied. "We will stand between the innocent and the darkness, no matter what form it takes." As they walked through the station toward their transport, Kim noticed alien families pointing out the windows at the distant shape of the Titan. Parents were telling their children stories about the great human ship that kept them safe. Those children would grow up in a galaxy where protection was valued more than power, where cooperation was stronger than conquest. They would learn that the greatest strength was not the ability to destroy, but the commitment to defend. And somewhere among the stars, the Titan waited patiently, ready to appear wherever children needed their guardian to keep them safe in the night.